So they have lots of different mechanisms for hiding what they believe, but profoundly influencing America. But one of the ways they've done that is to fund think tanks and academic institutions to deliberately cast doubt on the science of climate change in order to protect their own financial interests. The Koch brothers earn their billions leading the private oil, chemical, and manufacturing conglomerate Koch Industries. In short, they are the premier anti-environmental, pro-pollution duo of the 21st century. And over the past 2 decades, they've mastered a strategy meant to confuse the American people about climate change by funding think tanks, quote unquote, university programs, quote unquote, that adhere to their anti-science agenda. Take the Mercatus Center at George Mason University. They should call it the Koch Center. Charles Koch sits on the board. Over the last decade, it's received tens of millions in funding from the Koch brothers, 300,000 at least from big oil. So it should come as no surprise that the Mercatus Center publishes research that closely mirrors the ideology of the Koch brothers and routinely advocates for policies that are in their business interests, especially climate change denial. They cloak their views in an academic guise. But if you just examine it, you know what's going on. Mercatus Center, funded by the Koch brothers, talks against climate change. You think that's objective? I don't. Let's look at some of the activities of the center. In 2001, they suggested global warming would be beneficial and would, quote, stimulate plant growth and make humans better off. These are the Koch brothers. During the early years of George Bush's presidency, W. Bush, the Wall Street Journal reported that 14 of the 23 regulations targeted for repeal by the administration were suggested by guess who? The nonpartisan, objective, non-funded by the Koch brothers, Mercatus Center, including rollback of EPA pollution rules. In 2006, the Mercatus Center attacked the bipartisan work to reduce tailpipe emissions and implement new efficiency standards for automobiles and trucks. In 2007, Mercatus was able to install staffers at the Bush Office of Management and Budget in charge of regulations. In 2009, Mercatus attacked the Obama administration's plan to monitor greenhouse gas emissions. Some might be thinking, so what? This is just a few academic papers and policy recommendations. Why does it matter? It matters because this private sector funded research is being used to give the false impression there's a legitimate academic debate about climate change. And then that debate is used by colleagues as an excuse for no action. It's no different from how the tobacco industry funded research that minimized health dangers of smoking cigarettes, so they could turn around and argue there's no conclusive evidence that cigarettes are dangerous, no need to regulate us. Millions of people died because that happened. And millions of people are getting ill, and many millions more will lose their jobs, and we will lose our globe because of what the Koch brothers are doing.